Telling Vim to use custom.vimrc is easy, but how to tell it to use alternative path instead of / to vim? I can use vimu filename to use filename instead of my default .vimrc. I am using this method when switching user contexts to use my .vimrc even though running as superuser. How can I achieve the same also for the folder which by default is /.vim, so that I can point vim from the command line to an alternative folder? What I want to achieve. Okay, assume user Joe, home =/ home / Joe, and user root, home =/ root. User Joe has an alias set for vim which looks like this, but originally set using the $home variable to make this dynamic. Then user Joe does something along the lines of sudo su, but with added magic, resulting in the .bashrc and other goodies from /home / Joe to be loaded for root. User root has now the exact same alias for vim set as shown above. The problem is that this .vimrc is used on various systems and in various scenarios. Often Joe's account is called Joe, but sometimes it'll be something like local.joe or whatever else, resulting in a different value for $home. So hard coding an absolute path to the /.vim folder doesn't seem to be a good idea. However, in our above scenario, user root doesn't have a folder /root / to vim which, however, is expected to exist by default via the loaded .vimrc /home / Joe /.vimrc. What I want to achieve, preferably on the command line, is to get vim to use plugins etc. from underneath /home / Joe /vim when started as root. Assuming the alias is set as shown, other cases can be ignored. If there is some dynamic method via Vim script, please provide pointers. But using variables such as $home would lead to a catch-22, I think.
In the .vimrc you choose, you can specify the runtime path. If you are using your person.vimrc, then you could set this to your personal.vim directory and it should work both as su and your normal account.
Vim looks in /.vim because that directory is in the default list in runtime path, abbreviated as RTP. To tell Vim to look elsewhere, you will have to completely specify a different RTP value, or edit the default using a call to substitute, for example. If you just want Vim to look in a different place for your configuration files first, don't care that it also looks in /.vim, and don't care that it doesn't look in your alternative after directory, the command is pretty simple. C. Replacing .vim with your alternative directory takes a little more typing. I tried replacing /.vim with another path, but I couldn't match so I went ahead and posted what I had. Edit. The reason I could not match the value of RTP is that when the value is obtained as the value of an RTP rather than the output of column set RTP ? That is expanded to the full path name of the user's home directory. There is no in the result. The following works.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.